Mark Lamont Hill. Why is that name familiar for? That name is very familiar. Was he let go from one of the big news channels? Mark Lamont Hill. Let's have a look. Great, I'm going to sneeze as soon as I've started my stream. Sorry, guys. Goddamn. He's got a PhD. Oh, wow. He's got a PhD from the University of Pennsylvania. Was he fired for something? Published author, damn. Wasn't he fired? The 6 words that got Mark Lamont Hill fired. Right. Al Jazeera. Yeah, I remember his name. He looks familiar as well. Mark Lamont Hill is currently the host of the BET Awards, BET News, the Griot, Al Jazeera Up Front. That was Mehdi Hasan's old patch, I think. I think he used to do Al Jazeera's Up Front, and the Coffee and Books podcast. I'm not going to comment on the name. He seems cool. I'm not going to diss him, but Coffee and Books podcast sounds awful. Can hardly hear you. Oh. Oh. It should be a bit further away from the microphone than I was before. How's that? Is that better? Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Can we bring it a little bit closer? How's that? Is that better? I need to figure out where I naturally sit. I'll up the gain on it. That might be the problem. Right. Don't want it to be too sensitive. Filters, there we go. Gain. Okay, I've turned the gain right down. How's that? That's still not. I want to be near the yellow. Near. That is not. This is doing nothing. Is that working? No. Worse? How's that? Okay, here we go. We're cooking. How's the audio now? I think that's put me right in the yellow zone. So it should be okay. Is that better? Okay. Cooking on gas. Got the fire. I'm not gonna. Tabs are a bit messy. I'll probably try and reorganize it a little bit as we go. I'm not sure when I'll be doing regular content again. It should hopefully be next week. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I got plans for tomorrow, but after that I should be pretty much day free. So let's see how that goes. Do I have anything sound appropriate? Oh, what's this one? I don't remember adding this. Oh yeah, I do remember adding that. Okay. Wow, it's been so long. It's been such a long time. Okay. I was really trying to keep it PG. There we go. That's the last one I'll play. You missed the riots. Yeah, and luckily the riots missed me. I'll be honest. It was very close. I'd be a prime target, to be fair. Brown, beard. Any issues? No. Honestly, all of my stuff was down to work going on in my house. It was all like nothing bad. It's just a very specific. It's nothing negative really. It's just the nature of living with your family and being Asian. That's pretty much what happened. And just living in a house that needed not necessarily construction work to be done, but it needed it needed a revamp. It needed some work doing. Let's put it that way, cosmetic stuff. So got that done, but it is, my setup was downstairs. That's the area that got done. So there's not much I can do. That's really it. It's nothing right related. Yeah, appreciate your concern. It was nothing. I should have posted more community posts probably, and I probably should have worked on my Twitter more for the channel. But to tell you the truth, it was a bit depressing seeing everything go on, and then just not being able to really cover it. I guess like I could have done videos on my phone if I wanted to, but I don't like showing my face that much, I'll be honest. Um, so so yeah, there's that. Um, but that's about it, I think. Let's see. We've got some people in. Might just start going off topics. Yeah, let's start going through the stream because it is a bit late. It's like 9:30, and I've been up since about 6. So sometimes what can you say? Yeah, it's out. Sometimes it's out of your hands. Really, life's like the match pack really at that point. Um, and yeah, there's not much you can do, but time to get back into kind of the swing of it, and yeah, just go back to doing it. No, you had Twitter. Does it naming a website? Does it matter? The Twitter. Honestly, I just made it. Like I made it last month, but I don't really post to it that much. So I need to start doing that a bit more. Make it like the official Twitter for the channel, I guess. That's one of the things I need to work on. But not much else doing. I need to start putting up community posts as well. That's the other thing I need to remember to do. Just so you guys can ask questions, and it gives me more ideas for stuff to cover. During the live stream, I'll be honest. It does help. I have copied my live stream format off someone else, and it has worked really well for them. And so that's what I want to do. The thing that pisses me off is he doesn't put timestamps in his videos, even though he had someone he used to have an editor. So that was frustrating. Um, Again, the Femi one was brilliant. I have the same problems with him. He's hard. Do you know what it is with Femi? I think the thing with Femi is he wants the UK to be back in the EU by any means, right? Okay, or not by any means. That's probably unfair. But he wants the UK to be back in the EU. Now he seems to be of the assumption that the UK can rejoin the EU single market because of the fact that the EU offered us a deal back in the Theresa May period to be in the single market until the Irish border is resolved. Essentially, so there's no hard border on the island of Ireland, right? So that was the EU's offer. Now that was a temporary offer. There would have to be some sort of resolution to it. Because the thing at that point would be the UK would be able to stay in the single market and wouldn't pay the membership fees that, say, Norway are paying. There's still the divorce settlement, but essentially, if we stayed in that cycle, we'd be paying less than, say, Norway are currently, or like those sorts of countries, right? And so they offered us a temporary deal based on a very specific set of circumstances. Now, those circumstances have been resolved by way of the Northern Ireland Protocol. I'm still going to call it that. I don't care. Um, and so the question was, where do you put the border? So what we can do. So let's look at the map, right? Because this is important. What the hell? Oh, why is it still on this for? So let's do the no docs myself challenge. All right. So let's get rid of that. Okay. So do you know what we can do? Actually, we can do this instead. This will be better. I've covered this on stream before, but probably worth doing again because this will explain it. I think. Let's see. So you had different options for the border. Don't know why I enjoy doing this. Actually, this is fun. I enjoy doing dumb stuff like this on stream to annoy everyone. Um, so he does the Gish Gallop thing. Ah, classic vintage debate tactic that is. So basically, what you can do is, oops, that's the wrong tool. So you could. The problem is you don't. Can I change color? Yeah, I can. Sweet. Now, okay, mate, we get it. You can't put the border here. I'm not gonna draw. I'm gonna cause an international thing because I'm not gonna draw this line very well. But you can't put the border there, right? Because of the Good Friday Agreement. So this is the problem that Brexit basically exacerbated. Okay, and if any Irish people murder me, or in the chat, right, or people from Northern Ireland, right, it's just I'm just drawing over for illustrative purposes, right? Okay, guys, why is that screen turned white? Okay, So you can't put the border here, right? So what you could have should have zoomed out. Okay, that's fine. So there was the theory that was basically downplayed massively, which is which was this was dumb. Whoever come up with this idea, uh, about to get. I'm at, like I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna make jokes about it, actually. Now, there was the theory that you could put the entirety of this, of sort of the United Kingdom and Ireland. So I'm fucking killing myself here already, right? And obviously, there's parts of London there, right? Okay, but I didn't zoom out enough, so there was this idea you could do this, right? And obviously, the Irish government are like, no, you're not taking us out of the single market, you dummies, right? So this green line that was stopped pretty early on, right? This idea that you would take Ireland out of the single market, right? This was no, so this one didn't happen, right? So then you're like, okay, so what can we do here? You couldn't take Ireland out of the single market, so what do you do in that situation? So do I have orange? Oh no, come on, there's no orange here. Okay, go for some Tory blue here. So what they did was, in the end, now we'll go with the thick one. Pretty much, yeah. So what they did in the end is orange. Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna do, because I'm a big unionist. I love the union. Um, so what they ended up doing was putting the border here, right? So that's been resolved. We'll go all the way down here. We'll go to the blue circle. Now this has been resolved, right? So what Femi doesn't seem to understand is the reason why we were offered the deal we were offered was because of the unique circumstances of the UK, the United Kingdom, right? So because we share a land border with the EU and because of Northern Ireland's very unique circumstances, this was the problem. This border was the problem because it can't be a hard border. How about doing the green line around England, build a hard border? Yeah, let's not do that. All right, I live in England. All right, let's not do that. Right. So yes, Rishi did fix it. Rishi, in fact, made this a much stronger blue line. So do you know what? We can double up on this blue line. We can make the blue line extra strong, right? And so this issue has been resolved. So what we can do is, see that's a tick because this has been resolved, right? And so because this has been resolved, the EU have no reason to offer the great deal that they offered before under Theresa May, because it's been resolved. So this is the thing Femi fails to understand, and this is why he's so dumb on the single market stuff. And I know there are certain people who argue that the single, saying the UK can rejoin the single market keeps the debate alive. Doing that is dumb. Doing that is dumb because you're misleading people. So people are gonna, if they find out the truth, they're gonna know you're a liar, and they're not gonna believe anything you're gonna say after. You must have an Irish grandma. No, I really don't. I would have the lowest chances of having an Irish relative. I'll be honest. It'd be extremely low that I would have a relative that is kind of uh a European, I guess, in the terms of like not ethnically Asian, I guess, or doesn't have Asian heritage. I don't know the exact terms I want to use, so I don't want to get lynched. But you know, I'd be incredibly shocked if I did a genealogy test and there was like a significant amount of European. Nah, that's O'Brien. That's Big Jamesy. Never forget James. Irish James. Is that how you spell it? If that gets me past the Irish government, I should be good to go. But this issue is resolved. So what Fairby fails to understand is the fact that because the issue's been resolved, that deal is no longer on the table. So most of the other takes Fairby has, unironically, they're really good takes. Labour aren't going far enough on certain issues. Labour, what do you call it? They're not doing great on things like policy or whatever. If they don't try and rejoin the EU, they're not doing everything they can to boost the economy, right? Stuff like that. That's fine. It's a bit disingenuous in terms of just blaming the Labour government for some of the stuff that's out of their hands. But okay, whatever, right? The stuff on proportional representation, he's very good on, because he knows that's the best route, or at least he thinks that's the easiest route back into the EU, right? But what he says about the single market is complete garbage. Garbage. That's what it is. It's garbage. So that's the problem with Femi. Now, this is the thing he doesn't get, and this is the thing where I think maybe some other commentators didn't get it until much later on. We can't rejoin the single market. This deal was a one-off. Hat boys might say otherwise, but this deal was a one-off. They might cite books from 2016 by Ian Dunt or whatever, but it's garbage. Garbage. I can't draw over this border anymore because I'll probably create an instant. You won't see me with the t-shirt after drawing this border. It's actually the worst drawn, to be fair. Do you know what? I've actually realised I've taken more from Ireland. So maybe that's why people are pissed off in the chat. Yeah, sorry guys. I could... How far back does Control Z go? I guess you can't really take back colonisation. Sad times indeed. But point being is... yeah, it doesn't work like that. We can do a better screenshot, I guess. Is this... Do you guys... Oops. Do you guys have any more interest in me discussing this one? To be honest, I guess I don't know. I could discuss this one a lot more. But yeah, I don't know. But he's kind of cringe. I'll be honest. But he's also, I don't think he's a bad dude. I think he's misinformed on topics. I feel like that's one of the major issues he has. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I do want to cover this one. Let's see. Try to remember if there's any other topics I want to cover. There's a lot more regarding rights, actually. I might just do a really long video on the rights and stuff. I might just do like a really long video on it. Nah, simple, really. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he's fine on a lot of issues. But I think the EU is not one of them.
Country.
Why can't I hear the audio?
Terrified of what has been going on. Terrified of the Islamophobia, the racism, the hatred directed.
Why can't I hear it? That's so strange.
At minority communities, and those politicians who have.
My headphones turned off for being inactive, right? Okay. Yeah, simple. Anyways, you got Jonathan Asher saying, people who fan the flames of division
Will be across the country have been terrified of what has been going on. Terrified of the Islamophobia, the racism, the hatred directed at minority communities. And those politicians who have pandered to this, who fan the flames of this, they've got to be called out.
And those people who shouldn't be here, when they come from countries like Bangladesh or wherever, we're going to send them back.
Will be across the.
Wait until Jonathan Ashworth finds that geezer on the right. Wait until he finds it. It's over. It's over for bro.
Have been terrified.
The only thing that annoys me is the big
They've got
volume
to be
change.
called out.
And those people who shouldn't be here, when they come from countries like Bangladesh or wherever, we're going to send them back.
Yeah, no, this guy is a right prick. Why he's on TV for being a failure. Sorry, I shouldn't do that. I do that too. I'm talking at work. Being a failure. Quick on Roger there. Being a failure is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. They shouldn't be on. They can be guests on occasion, but they shouldn't be regular guests. That what's her name? Thangnam Dabonair, or whatever her name is. The fact that she's a regular on shows, and you're being rewarded for complete failure. Like you couldn't even. You had the easiest job in the world. You were the incumbent MP. You were the sitting MP. You were running for re-election at a time where Labour managed to actually get huge momentum. Right, the Tories were completely cooked, and you lost your seat. This guy, Jonathan Ashworth, lost his seat to an independent. Like, that's the height of embarrassment. You had everything. You had the party machine, the marketing, the money. The money, power, respect. Well, you didn't have the last one, but you had 2 out of the 3, and you still lost. You still lost. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, this guy, complete failure, couldn't even read his own constituency. And yeah, he's meant to be able to read the mood of the British public. Complete joke, guys. He's a joke. It's gonna be, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be messy. We're gonna be jumping around a bit on topics, but I'll try and clean it up later for when I actually do content on these. Um, we got the resignation letter of FCDO, so Foreign Common Development Office, I think that stands for. British diplomat Mark Smith. It's regarding Israel's actions. So FCDO complicity in war crimes. I write to you on my last day in the FCDO with a message I never wanted to send. It is with sadness that I resign. And I can no longer carry out my duties in the knowledge that this department may be complicit in war crimes. As former pen holder on the arms exports licensing assessment in Menad, I'm a subject matter expert in the domain of arms sales policy. Each day we witness clear and unquestionable examples of war crimes and breaches of international humanitarian law in Gaza perpetrated by the State of Israel. Senior members of the Israeli government and military have expressed open genocidal intent, which is true, they 100% have. Israeli soldiers take videos of deliberately burning and destroying, looting civilian property. Excuse me, it's just a long day, tired, a little bit tired. Over half of Gaza's homes and 80% of their commercial properties have been damaged or destroyed. Whole streets and universities have been demolished. Humanitarian aid is being blocked. Red Crescent ambulances have been attacked, which is true. They've double tapped places, I believe. There is no justification for the UK's continued arms sales to Israel, yet somehow it continues. I've raised this at every level in the organisation, including through an official whistleblowing investigation, and received nothing more than "thank you, we note your concerns." And of course, this is still under a Labour government here that this situation's happening. Maybe they waited, this person waited a couple of weeks to see if Labour would be any different on this issue, and it doesn't look like they are. Because ministers claim the UK has the most robust and transparent arms exporting licence in the world. However, this is the opposite of the truth, as a fully cleared officer raising concerns of illegality in this department to be ignored is deeply troubling. I urge you, as officers of good conscience, to join the many colleagues who have raised concerns over this issue. The FCDO has some of the most brilliant, hardworking, and good-hearted people I've ever known to be proud of working alongside you. I hope that we can look back on history and be proud. Best regards, Mark. So this is a person who's quite senior in the FCDO. He's gone. He left. I don't think we'll see. I hope that they raise it in Parliament. I hope the Green Party, the Lib Dems, potentially with Layla Moran, and also the suspended Labour MPs bring this up and really give it to what's his face, David Lammy, over this. Because here's David Lammy talking about this.
Now been calling for 12 days for David Cameron to publish the legal advice so that we are clear on whether Israel has contravened international humanitarian law and therefore arms sales should be suspended.
So, publish the information, Lammy. You've got it. You're there now. Yes, the hypocrisy of the Iceman. We can no longer say that Britain is a free country. Laws criminalising certain opinions are now having a chilling effect on freedom of expression in the UK. So that's the 15th of August. And we've got this man the 9th of November last year. It's not anti-free speech to restrict demonstrations. We need to protect freedom of expression, but these aggressive protests aren't civilised dissent. So when it's my team, this is it. I can use the soundboard of this.
My team, enemy team.
It's my team versus the enemy team when it comes to this stuff. As always, they don't really believe in free speech unless it's for them. Alan Duncan was pretty brave. Yeah, he was the Conservative MP, wasn't he? He was quite brave. Go next. Oh yeah, this incident here actually. We need This is it. This is Liz Truss being trolled to perfection.
I support Trump and I want him to win. But it's what I was saying a bit about incumbents. I think the average American is not doing well. And people do vote on, I think it was Bill Clinton's advisor who said it's the economy's stupid.
That's wild, because she crashed the economy stupid.
So I think that he will probably win.
On that.
I've got a load of Trump questions, by the way. But what?
I wish he said I crashed the economy stupid. I wish I wish that's what it said. You know, it's not funny. Rising interest rates. That's not funny. You would think, yeah, you know, like these conservatives always like, oh, the snowflakes generation, all this stuff. This is funny. Just quit. Look at that. She's what a snowflake. You know, this is a person who caused, you know, a lot of damage to the British economy, a lot of damage, and all they did was troll her, light trolling, really, light trolling, and she quit. It's just crazy to me, honestly. And apparently, the person who did this has been arrested. For what? It's a private event. Like, did they break in? Did they hack the place? It doesn't make any sense. It's just nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. This person's been arrested for this. At most, you know, it's like trespassing or something like that. Like, it's just mad to me. It's about more stuff about the riots.
Yes, we can penalise 15-year-olds, but should people like Tommy Robinson and other politicians who ended up in the mainstream, whose words have been repeated by these foot soldiers? Now, if you're talking about the undercurrent, you'll never remove the undercurrent, will you? Some people say you'll never remove it until you tackle that, because you'll just put these people...
Which is the point, you know, language is important. The words you use can be important. You know, we saw the clip of Jonathan Ashworth saying we're going to send them back. That's the kind of language the racists use. Send them back. Send them home.
Inside, it'd be somebody else in 3 or 4 years' time.
That's entirely the point, right? Nobody wants to condone rioting. Nobody wants to condone violence. That's why we have a strong judicial system that tackles this. And we have to restore order. But what are we talking about? This is a cycle that could potentially repeat itself. You know, I'm from a red wall town. I know, I can see in my community that where these tensions are going to rise because of segregation, because of deprivation. And until you get into that and stop just blaming anybody else that's different for the travails that are essentially caused by, sorry to say it, mainstream politics that we were both part of, where actually Conservative and Labour aped that language.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, 100. The Conservatives led the culture, and I think Labour followed them into it.
And talked about immigration in the most coarse terms.
Well, I don't think actually, to be fair, some of
the
sort of virtue signalling on that and some of the language used by that in recent years has been part of that sort of waving to sort of this issue is about, you know, we've got too many people coming in and everything else. We need to have a sensible debate about immigration. But actually, there's been a lot of unhelpful language used.
Oh, like send them home.
Used by senior politicians in the last government.
But also,
some of
us and I've spoken to friends and family in Birmingham, you know, from the British Muslim community, and we sat and talked for quite a while last week, and we've been chatting on Zoom and stuff. We all remember Boris Johnson being elected.
Screen's wide out, I don't know why.
And a lot of them will talk. Boris Johnson, and he referred to Muslim women as bank robbers. We remember Suella Braverman talking about an invasion of immigrants, and it was looked at as they were talking about Muslims. Nigel Farage talking about Muslims being a fifth column. Lee Anderson talking about how Muslims are taking over London.
I mean, I find that appalling. But most right things...
I really wish he mentioned the Jonathan Ashworth thing. I really wish he mentioned that clip. This one here. I really wish he did. Oh yeah, Liz Truss crying about this. Actually, this should go over here, saying what happened last night was not funny. Far left activists disrupted the event, which had to be stopped for security reasons. I mean, it didn't have to be stopped for security reasons. You looked very much like you were safe there. It didn't look like there was imminent danger. This is done to intimidate people and suppress free speech. I won't stand for it. You got trolled, fam. You got trolled, and you cried. Like, what more can you say? What an absolute snowflake. It's absolutely the dumbest thing she could have said. All she had to do was ha 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 and just carry on. That's all she had to do. Why she feels the need to cry about this is crazy. It's crazy to me, especially after all the damage she caused. Tragic. Oh yeah, this is another one actually we can actually discuss here. Cancelled from a civil service talk for retweeting a Liz Truss parody account. Kate Delvin explains why an invitation to address the MOJ staff was rescinded because of the government's due diligence of her social media accounts. A bunch of snowflakes. She's talking about free speech. You know, this. I tell you now, yeah, conservatives are the biggest snowflakes on the planet. They are the biggest snowflakes I've ever seen. She got trolled, and then she whinged about it and dressed as a cabbage. She kind of did, to be fair. Let's see if we can go back and find it. Yeah, it's lettuce green, I think that is. This is more stuff about the rights.
Farage's social media activity in particular, do you think that should be investigated?
I imagine that my former colleagues are doing precisely that. They'll be looking at anybody who might have incited this, so they'll be looking at the timeline from minute one, and you've seen actually some arrests.
So much done to protect. You can do both. I think trolling, especially someone as bad as she is. I think like politicians need to remember like their actions have consequences for a lifetime. So I have no issues them trolling her, to be honest. Oh damn! Sorry, chug some water. Has BM gone spiny? What? This guy, he's a former worked in counterterrorism.
Arrests and prosecutions.
I think people have the energy for both.
In this space about who has amplified this rhetoric and whether the lines that they were using might have had an influence. But the law is very clear. It has to be designed to incite racial hatred. It has to be.
John, there was a Tommy Robinson one actually. There was a Tommy Robinson. Let me see if I can find it. Because I think he should.
Who am I about to make a name for?
Yeah, sorry, I love that clip so much. All he gives these nice random stuff. Yeah, do you know? I'll do a long video on the rights and stuff. There we go.
Have I ever encouraged the use of violence? Have I ever encouraged the use of anti-democratic means? We have LBC presenters like James O'Brien calling them the Farage riots. I have had nothing to do with any form of street violence now or at any point in my.
So let's see if we can find. Oh, do you know what? Oh, I got this one as well. I want to go over here somewhere. Yeah. Where is it? Here, this one.
Fucking boats! Get
Oh, sorry about the language, guys.
them out of them hotels! Get them gone! Put them on boats and send them back! Okay? They shouldn't be here. They're endangering the safety of our families. Men will rise up. We're always going to rise up. They have to rise up to defend their families. You've brought this war on our shores. Stop the fucking boats. Get them out of them hotels.
So how are they planning on getting them out of the hotels, mate? This is blatant. To me, I think this is. Oh, I'm not going to say in case because he might be a bit litigious, but we're discussing him later. Over lying on form. Yeah. He might be in a fair bit of trouble. Oh, he said we asked. Wait. We asked 100 people for reputable source. You said
my source is that I made it the fuck up.
That's what he said. See. Yep. Again, I'll probably go a lot deeper into some of these videos to be fair, because I think they deserve it. This is it. Look.
Parliament. This elected.
Has got the original clip. Here it is.
Organised culpability, human trafficker, and organised gospel.
This is the problem, isn't it? One of the reasons the Southport riots were as bad as they were is we weren't told the truth. There were stories online from some very prominent folks with big followings, Andrew Tate, etc.
Whoa, what? Andrew Tate? Literally the alleged human trafficker and organised criminal. So here we have a British MP claiming that his decision to inject poison into the bloodstream of the British public.
We also know that it was pushed by other countries in terms of the propaganda. My G stopped anything like popping off here. The rioters, flipping over someone's car. Let's see what else is there. This stuff about the London riots. Yeah, this was it. He pleaded guilty. Jailed for 2 months. You had someone who had stolen water get jailed for 6. Oh wait, this is more of a funny video. So it's this bit here. Who threw that? I don't know. This is the bit where Nigel says it. Big Maj. So let's see.
Susanna, we are full up. There's no room, and that's what she's talking about. But she really wants to stop hordes of people crossing the channel. Susanna, we are full up. There's no room, and that's what she's talking about.
Yep. I can't remember. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that one in a bit. This is good. You know, the fact that most people in the country didn't think the police have gone far enough to stop the riots. Do you worry about knocking the door from police? There we go. So what we'll do is I'll put together a more coherent stream on this. Drop my magnet. Right. And I found it. Power magnets. The far right turn up to Portsmouth, but no one got broken. Yeah, they turn up in Northampton as well, and nothing happened.
Coming over and taking our jobs, yeah, and not even working. And they're working.
They take our jobs if they're not working.
Because they do it. They do it over. They do it. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's they do it. Just the whole thing is mad. I'll be honest. So I have a lot to sift through. So we'll keep going. We're over here somewhere.
The use of violence. Have I ever encouraged the use of anti-democratic means? We have LBC presenters like James O'Brien calling them the Farage riots. I have had. Yeah,
we saw him, spread the misinformation stuff. And I'll tell you one story where this gentleman here, he tried to save people who were being stabbed. Right, he actually managed it.
I heard a scream, and the moment I saw it, there was one person, roughly along maybe like mid-30s or early 30s, and he was like stabbing a kid. Yeah, so I saw that he was stabbing a kid. I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he wasn't having a knife, and I just put him down on the floor and just hold him and kick the knife away from him. And then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him until the police came. It took like maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Police arrived, and then they just took him into the custody. And the child, just like all my colleagues, they gave him first aid, and in the middle, police came as well, and they just gave the first aid. We just saw a kid who was getting stabbed, and I just like tried to save her.
You just ran out of the shop and tried to save the child?
Yeah, I don't know there were how many family members are there, mom. I just saw a kid being attacked, and I just.
So it's clear. He saved them, right? And what did the Daily Mail come out with? Knife at random. Leicester Square knifeman who stabbed mother and daughter 11 did not know them, police believe. Now, if you looked at this headline, you know what we'll do when I do the video, right? You would think he's the perpetrator. You would think he's the guy who's done it. But no, he was the one who stopped it. And this is how you manufacture consent against people. Stuff like this. It's crazy to me, like they managed to get away with this. Absolutely nuts. It's just wow. Just absolutely wow. I'm glad my friend brought this story to me. I'll definitely be covering it soon, but it's just abysmal. There's a lot of random miscellaneous bits on the rights, to be fair. Someone's asking why won't they treat the same as the BLM
I was
stuff?
in the Black Lives Matter protest, and I would say that a lot of the behaviours that I saw in the protests, and we're calling them protests, are not that different to the behaviour that we're seeing in riots. And granted, there are some very, very extreme people that were there who behaved in ways that we can all condemn. I think it's very unfair to suggest that the majority.
Sorry, Chantal, I'm struggling with your comparison of the Black Lives Matter demonstrations and protests were like the riots, but they weren't. There were no riots.
But the behaviours in which people are being, most strongly reprimanded for and arrested for, they're not that different. It's all.
It's not that different, huh? I don't remember this happening in BLM protests in the UK. Do you guys remember this at any of the BLM riots? Did you? I mean, not pro riots. I bespoke the BLM protests. You see any of this?
Go on!
See any of this? You see any of that? I don't think you did, guys. I don't think you did. And that lady got sentenced to 20 months in jail. The court heard she was vulnerable and homeless, having recently fled domestic violence. She tagged along with friends to protest after bumping into them with a shop, and I'm sure that's a great story her lawyer gave to her. But now she got 20 months. It's just crazy, you can't argue with Pauline. You're literally one of the ones pushing the bin. But, apparently she just kind of got dragged into it. This kind of stuff here, we're too frightened to talk about immigration. Again, like Margaret Hodges, not a person I've got a lot of respect for. Do you know what? Yeah, when I sift through this, it'll be great. Because, the great patriot of well, he's not even from England, I think. The great patriot himself, Yaxley boy, Stephen Lennon. It looks like a complete failure to file accounts. £1.5 million plus of profit, winding up the company with £317,000 of unpaid corporation tax. Now, I hope the kid that sued Robinson for defamation, I hope that he actually managed to get the money, because there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on here. And it does expose to you how rich people do manage to hide and conceal their money and not pay taxes. So Tommy Robinson and his associates have created a web of secretive companies which have made profits of more than £1.6 million without paying tax before filing for insolvency. The far-right leader has spent 6 years conducting his anti-migrant activism. I wouldn't call it that, I'd call it straight racism, but okay. And fundraising through entities whose directors have failed to file annual income accounts. On a single occasion, the companies owe £328,000 in corporation tax. An employer contribution to HMRC, documents state. So the question is, how come HMRC haven't investigated him? 300k allegedly here. 300k. Imagine all the money, how that much will help certain towns in terms of rejuvenation. Lots of companies go bust owing HMRC money. Businesses fail for all kinds of reasons, according to Dan Needle. But to go bust owing £317,000 of corporation tax and almost nothing to anyone else is odd. They just pulled the company out. That's all they did. Find out the failure to file accounts. An obvious interference is that profits were made, cash stripped from the company, leaving nothing for HMRC. What's what you do? You take out all the money and you just file for bankruptcy. You just liquidate their account. There's someone saying here, I'm wondering how you can live in Spain and not be registered for tax here unless you're flying under the radar. If he's in Spain enough to be a resident, then there would have a Spanish tax liability. The Spanish tax authorities are pretty aggressive. They are quite aggressive when it comes to residency as well. So we'll have to wait and see on this stuff. But again, he's so patriotic that allegedly he does not pay his taxes. Crazy, I want to cover this one. This one's quite close to home. A wife of Tory councillor refused bail following arrest of racial hatred charges. So Lucy Connolly, the wife of Tory councillor Raymond Connolly, made the remarks in a tweet hours after the death of the 3 girls that were in the knife attack. The attack triggered, the widespread riots. While wearing a pink jumper, sat in police custody, Connolly only spoke to confirm she understood the charges in Nottingham Magistrates Court. It's weird it was in Nottingham. Connolly wrote on Twitter, mass deportations now, set all the effing hotels on fire. The hotel's full of, I'm assuming that is bastards, but I'm not sure. For all I care, while you're at it, take the treacherous government and politicians with them. So not only is she inciting violence against asylum seekers and people who've immigrated, but also the government. Also the government. So I think we've got a picture of a tweet. This is it. This is the tweet here. If that makes me racist, so be it. So, yeah, you're racist. There you go. Not a tough one, really. So, yeah, she's looking at a jail sentence over this. This is the lady, Bernie Sporthoff, has been arrested allegedly on suspicion of stirring racial hatred by spreading a fake Muslim name for the suspect in the Southport attack. So what had happened was, after the attack happened, because the perpetrator was 17, the government, the laws are you can't publish that person's name because they're classed as a minor. So what they did is they pretended that person who committed the murder was a Muslim person. They kept spreading all sorts of stories like it was someone from Rwanda, it was someone who emigrated from Rwanda when they were 6, someone who was born in the UK but their parents emigrated from Rwanda. All sorts of kind of rumours spread around, right, in order to spread this kind of hatred. Because this all they were waiting for, just an opportunity to start trying to light people up, and they that's all they needed. Bernie Spoforth, a social commentator for Talk. She's not here. She's on Talk Radio. We now believe the public interest in naming her outweighs concerns over legal right to privacy, which is nuts, considering that she kept trying to, she kept spreading all sorts of malicious rumors because she knew the courts couldn't announce their name. She's been accused of writing on X that Ali Shakati was the Southport suspect, an asylum seeker who came to the UK by boat last year and was on MI6 watch list. So it's very clear what she was doing. Incredibly clear what she was doing here. And she's been in jail. There's another man jailed for social media poster of the rights.
Material which is threatening, abusive or insulting, intending thereby to stir up racial hatred. The context of your offending is that it arises out of the civil unrest and disorder in many parts of the United Kingdom. On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August, the Britannia Hotel in Leeds was attacked by people who threw missiles which damaged windows. The police were called, and on the 3rd of August the hotel was locked down for the protection of those who were living there. At the time there were 210 occupants, many of whom were foreign refugees and asylum seekers. Similar attacks to the hotel were launched on the 4th of August. The police attended on each occasion, and units were deployed to safeguard the hotel and to provide an increase in the police presence in the area. In between the two attacks, you took to social media in order to encourage others towards participation in the attacks.
What's wild is that this person probably wouldn't have bothered to go, but he wanted others to go, others to, cause damage and potentially send themselves to jail.
Upon the hotel. As is recognised on your behalf, this offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. You will serve up to 1/2 of your sentence in custody.
So 10 months, basically.
Before you are released on licence. If you fail to abide by the conditions of your licence, you can be returned to prison to serve some or all of the remainder of the custodial term. The victim surcharge will apply, and I will make a collection order.
That's, you could see it as 10 months for social media posts as well, but it's 10 months for incitement. It doesn't matter what platform you use. If you go around with a megaphone or if you're posting on social media, it doesn't matter. And so we're smoking the racist pack. I couldn't, the fact that, you're inciting others, it's just mad. It's just mad. But, they're being sentenced 20 months is pretty good. In terms of, Nigel Farage, he was rehabilitated by ITV when it paid him $1.5 million to appear on I'm a Celeb. He also was the joint second for most appearances on Question Time. I don't know how long Question Time's been running for, but I think Farage is only relevant really from about 2013 onwards. That's when his career, I think, really took off. Yep, I'm back. And so, the fact that he's got the second highest appearances on Question Time is kind of nuts. But, they gave him a season pass because he gets views. The last one is that lady again. Her arrest. A woman who first shared fake Southport suspect rumours that sparked the riots arrested. We'll see what sentence she gets, but she obviously knew what she was trying to do because she knew he couldn't be named. So, whoops, there's that ugly fucker again. I'm talking about myself. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there, guys, because it's 9:15. The establishment made Farage. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's one of them. He's rich. He's not this working class hero that people try and portray him as. He was middle class. I think he had money. And that's it. wild to just manifest a fictional name from your hole and tell it to the. I mean, that's how these people are. Because they need a villain at the end of the day. They need someone to be angry at, and so during the Cold War, it was the Russians, effectively, and then once the USSR ended, they needed new villains, and so in stepped in the hide and seek champion. 16 million below poverty line might be a contributing factor. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I think poverty does play a part in it. But at the same time, these people, I think the people that participated in the riots, I think most of them would be deeply racist, deeply racist. But they're also bullies as well because they couldn't get the numbers in certain areas. They didn't do anything. As soon as they got in the tens really. 20, 30, 40 people, they're big dog, they're going to do something. They start throwing petrol bombs or whatever. As soon as they get outnumbered, they're like, oh no, we don't, we're not looking for trouble. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit sick, to be honest with you. But that's who these people are. They're just a bunch of frauds, I'll be honest. A bunch of complete frauds. But anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I've had a long day, trust me. I've been up since about 6 o'clock, so probably looking to get some sleep soon. I'm back for the foreseeable. I think I'll probably be back doing regular content next week. I need to sift through all of these tabs and actually figure out what I want to cover. I might just do a longer form video for the riots, to be honest. I think that'd probably be a good idea. There's a couple other bits and pieces I want to get on with as well. But it's good to be back. It's not my most organised stream, but they rarely ever are now. But I think I just want to do a stream to kind of get back into the flow of things, because it's been nearly a month, I think, so it's been a while since I've done this. So yeah, no worries, guys. I'll catch you guys hopefully next Saturday. Bye bye.